Yesterday, I had a date with a really handsome young man. Yes, you've heard right, a date. That doesn't happen so often at my age, yeah? So I thought, let's make a journal dedicated to this special day and this date with this absolutely amazing man. So I made myself a little journal, which I wanted to take with me. I already was worrying about the weather a little bit because the sky was relatively gray and it started to rain. I mean, it was not much rain, but this little like mist of water from the sky, which makes you feel really scared about your hair. I mean, I always get this like crazy hair when a little bit of water, I mean rain, comes from the sky. But I thought you have to take risks. I mean, if you want to have a nice and romantic day, you have to take risks, yeah? Do you agree? So I dressed myself up to be ready to go. I choose my most beautiful dress. It's the turquoise one with the lace on it. You have seen that in my past videos very often. I wear this dress nearly in every video that I make, so I'm sure that you have seen this dress already. It has my absolutely favorite turquoise. That's also the reason why I bought it. And it's this kind of color where you don't really know what is it. Is it really turquoise or is it more green? Sometimes you have those colors where you think, oh, I really don't know what colors that shall be. But do you know those dresses? You just have to buy them and you have to wear them then. And then sometimes they become your favorite dress. And that's the same with this dress for me. So I thought this day is really going to become a successful day. I mean, romantic wise. Do you know what I mean? And I had really big hopes for this day. And do you know what? This dress I'm talking about. Also, this dress I'm talking about doesn't only have these like turquoise greenish colors in it, but it also has some of those really like tiny sprinkly thingies. And those are some kind of like, not really turquoise-ish, but also not greenish. Something in between, I would say. And those, I mean, I always think when I look at this dress that it looks like those are some kind of sprinkled over the fabric, which, is the fabric, the dress is made out of fabric, isn't it? And I was hoping that this man would also like this sprinkly look of my dress. Perhaps he would get a little bit impressed by that as well. So that was what I thought. When we had a phone call before we met, he said to me, we are going to meet in Sesame Street, and from there we are going to take the bus to come to our final destination, a wonderful park where we wanted to have a picnic together. I can't remember when I had my last picnic. That must be ages ago. So I thought, that is my jam. That is what I want to do. And I thought, well, that is also really a really romantic idea. I mean, how cool is that when you have the possibility to make a picnic on your first date? I mean, that is something extraordinary, isn't it? So I went to Sesame Street and there I finally met him for the very first time. And I was so nervous and so excited that I didn't realize that there were some sandwich crumbles on the seat in the bus. I guess I was a bit distracted by his beautiful gray eyes and his adorable smile. And I also think that the person who had the sandwich in the bus had some ketchup or mayo on the sandwich, because those crumbles were really, really like slimy and smeary and, you know, this kind of wet where you think, oh no, oh no. But I didn't see it coming. And I was so fascinated by him, and he was so kind and so nice, and he was talking about the most wonderful things that I thought, okay, let's listen to him. And that was just such a wonderful feeling. You can't believe that it was so amazing. And my heart was beating the whole time. So crazy. When we arrived at that park, I couldn't believe my eyes. They were wildflowers growing everywhere. I even don't know how I can describe what I have seen there. It was just so amazing. Those wildflowers were like everywhere and in every color you could imagine. The only thing that I really didn't like in that park were those really ugly and rusty benches everywhere. I don't know who has decided to put those rusty and ugly things there. Makes no sense in my eyes. I mean, it was like a little bit like art as well, but really weird art. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you find things in nature and you think, what the heck? And then you realize, okay, that is something that a human being has made. For example, those benches were built by human beings, yeah. And then you think, okay, perhaps this has a reason, but it looks really weird. There have also been some fired bricks around those benches that made it a little bit like, you know, acceptable. But at the same time, it was really weird, and you had the feeling the whole time that something is really wrong in that park. But I thought, okay, don't care about those benches. You are here for making a picnic with the most adorable man in the world. So I didn't thought about sitting down on the benches, because why would you sit down on a bench if you want to make a picnic? Yeah, that makes no sense. You won't sit on a bench for a picnic. So we sat down on the green grass. That's the better place to sit for a picnic, I guess. And he took some sandwiches out of his bag. That was just so cute. And the most cutest thing was that he had prepared those at home for the both of us. So I was like in heaven, because that is just a cool and really cute gesture from him. And they were just so delicious. There was some basilikum in German. How is that said in English? It was some dried basilico, what's the word? On it. And I also could taste a pinch of curry on those sandwiches. And he even had some coffee for us in his bag. I mean, it was this kind of, you know, instant coffee. But to be honest, who cares? Who cares? His sparkling eyes and the cinnamon he sprinkled over my coffee cup have been worth the whole thing. I mean, cinnamon. who could say no to a man like he is in combination with cinnamon? I mean, totally out of my world to say no to something like this. Ha! Everything was just so wonderful, and he was so nice and so amazing. And I really didn't care that the weather was getting really like a little worse. The clouds started to get... Oh my goodness, my cinnamon is flying away. The clouds started to get relatively dark, and I was a little bit worrying about my hair again. But he was just so amazing that I thought, Luise, don't freak your freak. Just enjoy what you experience here right now. And just don't freak your freak. But then, suddenly, things changed totally. Because suddenly, he took some really weird green dried stuff out of his bag. And he asked me to take some of that as well. And you can imagine, I was absolutely shocked. I think I have been never that shocked in my life than in that moment. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? And what the heck does he want me to do? I was so shocked that I accidentally spilled my whole coffee. I jumped off from the floor and I ran away. And when I was back in the bus to go home, I realized that he not only had destroyed my dreams, but also my journal was completely dirty. So now I'm sitting here and I don't know what to do. I think the only way to fix this problem is to put my journal into the washing machine. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. If you are asking, and I'm sure you are already asking that for the whole time, what the heck is Luise doing there? Then I can tell you, I can totally understand you. And I'm also, can you see that? I'm a little bit shaking because now the like normal part of the video can start. I had to, concentrate so much in the parts before because, this is a finished journal. I didn't want to do this twice. So I'm really wondering what is going to happen with all of this sesame and green dried stuff. So, of course, let me quickly clarify that, if that was perhaps not so clear. The dried green stuff that says rose marijuana is, of course, rosemarine. Rosemarine, is that an English word? I'm hoping so. So it's not what you thought. So I'm going to take this now. And I want to first bend these rusty pieces a little bit so that I can make a sandwich. Because now, I mean, let's face it, now we are here at home again and we are disappointed about this man. And I have to say, the longer I think about him, the less I think that the whole thing was worth it. But sometimes, do you know those situations? Sometimes you do something and you realize, oh, that was not a good thing to do. But in the end, you have something that can perhaps be even better than what you originally thought. And perhaps we can get something from this which we haven't expected and which is even better than what we originally thought. So why don't we do this? I'm wrapping this journal into this, towel. just to make a little sandwich and to press everything together relatively well. And then I'm going to take a string to secure this sandwich. I guess you could also take something like a shopping bag made from fabric, you know, those cotton shopping bags, to put that in there. I want this to be really secure so that the journal can't open while it's in my washing machine, and that it can stay in here like it is now. Yeah. And I thought you could perhaps even take some fabric from, for example, a pillowcase or something to wrap the journal, because then perhaps you will also get a nice and stained fabric in the end. But I can't tell you that until now, because I have no idea if that is going to happen or what is going to happen here at all. The only thing I know is that it's raining outside and that I now have to put on my shoes and a jacket and perhaps a scarf and a hat as well to go to the washing machine. And then we are going to wash this in the washing machine. First of all, I will clean my hands, or actually I will try to clean my hands, and then I would say, let's do this and let's go. Sometimes I'm really asking myself if this kind of stuff is really normal. I mean, what the heck? So let's take this thing. Let's take it. Let's go. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's park it here for a moment because I have to put on my shoes. What am I doing here? I really don't know. So here we go. Here is it. Oh my goodness, my hand is shaking. Let's put it in there. And let's put this little guy in here, because we would do that if we would wash our clothes as well. So why not? This has to be as realistic as it could be. I don't want to say goodbye, because that means that I'm expecting that I will not see you again. But goodbye. Let's close this door. So, and then what are we going to do here? German, English, Francais, Italiano, German. Choose the program, and I think we should do, what shall we do? I think we are going to do 60°, and now it says we have to pay, and that's why I have taken this little coin here. So let's put this into this little slot, and this light turns green, and this light turns green, and then we can press start. Oh my goodness, I'm so afraid. I have the feeling that the water and this foam is already a little bit yellowish, greenish. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's a while later. I'm relatively surprised that the water and the foam is still, let's say, off-white, only a little bit of beige, gray, brownish stuff. Looks a little like pumice stone oxide spray. And when I look into the machine now, I mean, the thing is flying around in there, yeah, but I have the feeling that this bundle got smaller somehow. I have absolutely no idea why I have this feeling, but when I go really close to, you know, this window there from the machine and put my nose on there, then it looks like it got smaller. I have no idea. But we still have 47 minutes left. Oh my goodness. Don't do that at home. Das war jetzt ja wirklich so ein richtig erfolgreiches Experiment. I would say, really successful experiment. I mean, is it completely gone? Is that my towel there between your feet? No. Is it in there, the rest? Gary? Is the rest still in there?
Yeah, I didn't know.
And it was coming out when you were coming in? Or did you open that?
I opened it, yeah.
Look. Oh no. Okay. This channel is called Junk Journal Art. And even with something like this, I will not give up. I mean, it's a journal, isn't it? You said that it will work.
Yeah.
You said what should happen if you do that. This is drunk, yes. What to do in such a situation? There's only one solution. The solution is called alcohol. Can you please stop doing what you are doing there and open this shitty bottle here, please, for me? Because, you know, I'm afraid to get a hole into the Dingsbums ceiling. I got this bottle from Fritz. Fritz, he's my neighbor. Fritz is the person who always borrows me his soldering iron when Gary is not available. That is not enough. We don't even have the right glasses for this kind of drink. Thank you, Fritz. And what are you doing there now? Can you jetzt now please hier mit mir hier anstoßen mit mir? Don't destroy my video. Prost.
Cheers. Wonderful experiment.
My Bauchspeicheldrüse will thank me later. I mean, a good thing about this is this smells really nice. In the meantime, I thought perhaps I should have taken some of the rose marijuana, which the man has offered to me. But at the same time, I think I am Luise Heinze, and this is definitely nothing that could stop me from going on. I mean, it's definitely the most extreme thing I've ever experienced in combination with junk journaling, but I don't care. We can make something out of this. I think that this is one of the few pieces paper-wise that has survived this whole thing. And do you know what I think what this is? I think that this is a coffee filter. I had some coffee filters in the journal as, yeah, planned as pages. And I think this is one of them. I think that because this has this round edge here, that means coffee filters can survive your washing machine. I mean, that is something good to know, isn't it? This is the second part, obviously. These doilies look really nice. I really like this color. I mean, what is this? This is somehow not green, not gray. I think it doesn't know what it wants to be, but this is cool. I will put this somewhere to dry, and I will probably iron over this so that it gets into its original shape. I think it has, you know, shrank down a little bit, but that doesn't matter. This also got really interesting. This is a little bit more greenish, I would say. I think that this yellow is from the curry or something. Here's some paper pulp on it, but we don't care about that. I mean, I like this. Here's the third one. Then we have, I'm so sorry. Then we have our rusted pieces. I really liked those, and to the person who has sent these in a happy mail to me, I'm so sorry that this looks now like this, but your happy mail helped me to make this experiment, and that is, in my eyes, a good thing. Even if these pieces are not rusty anymore, this color looks really, really gorgeous. I really like this color. To be honest, I really loved those rusted pieces, and I don't want to say anything bad about those pieces, but when I look at this now, I can't say that I like it better than before. That would be not the truth, but this is somehow interesting. And also with these pieces here, I'm wondering what is going to happen with this paper, if it will stay there and give us a cool texture. Perhaps we can even add some fake rust later here. And here's even on this leaf, there's even a little bit of this rust left. Can you see that? That looks really interesting. This got totally blank, I would say, but it's not totally silver. It has these little like black spots in there. Makes it really, really interesting in my eyes. I found this coin, obviously, that has been in the washing machine before. The sesame survived completely. It's a little bit like aufgeschwemmt. Don't know the English word. It's a little bit thicker, perhaps from the water, but it looks like it's nearly intact. And the string I have used to wrap the towel around the journal, that's probably this kind of stuff here. And it has totally mixed with the thread I have used to bind in the signature, or to sew in the signatures. So this is my sewing thread. And I was thinking, what would happen if I take this and, you know, take this like apart a little bit, but not totally. I mean, that would take probably 20 hours to take this apart. But what if I let this dry, but spread this a little bit? Can we then perhaps make something out of that? Can we use that sounds so weird, but I mean, isn't this just a cool material? Look how this looks now. There's also a little bit of this paper pulp in it, and this looks really interesting. I'm wondering if we can make a cool embellishment out of this, for example, a ruffle or something like that, or page tabs, or perhaps even a journal cover. But I'm thinking, how do I have to let this dry to make that work? I mean, that has to be relatively flat, otherwise the cover would get totally thick. I was wondering if I could take this, and when it's dry and the towel is dry, if I could sew this onto the towel and then use that to make a journal cover, but I'm not totally sure. I will think about that. And speaking about journal cover, this is what is left. It's just so cool. Look what happened to the glue here. And wait. Now I'm confused, because here, look my binding is, I mean, these are the threads which I've used to bind the signatures into the cover. I mean, this is the inside of the cover and the pages have been here. So that means all of the threads stayed here, obviously. But what the heck is then this? I'm really confused now. I'm just looking back here to the back to my table, because I made some more of these tiny journals. And I made them all in the same way. Yeah, some of them are not finished yet. Here, for example, this little thing, of course, has to be glued here, yeah, down here. So this is not finished yet. But I haven't used any additional thread. The only thread that I have here is the thread which holds the signatures in the journal, so meaning this here. And this is obviously this. This black thread around here, that is this. But what the heck? I mean, can it be that some of the threads of this fabric came out here, like this, for example? And can it be that that is this? It must be. I don't know what else it should be. But that is interesting. That is really interesting. So that means that we have this here now. And on the other side, this was beaten. So this piece here, this shorter piece, and also this was below the cover here. So that is basically here this this colored fabric here with these flowers. So that is this. It goes until here, and then the rest, this is just this here. So that it was like double layered here. But that looks really interesting, and this frayed look, I really love that. And I'm sure that we can make something out of this. But how can we let this survive? Because that looks really interesting. I mean, we have these. I'm already getting some ideas. I mean, what about, you know, doing something like this? I mean, cut this in half, yeah? Put the other piece here. So then this is a perfect cover. And in the inside, I would be really happy if I could save this here, because this looks so interesting. But how could I do that? That I have these cool things here still visible later. I have to think about that, and I will definitely show you something with this. I will now dry this, and then we will make something with this. So that means that this video is going to get a part 2 and perhaps, probably, I don't know, a part 3, where you can see what's going on with this. And I will also definitely do a similar experiment again with a fresh and new journal, same construction like the one I've used today, but I will put that into a pot and then I will cook that on my stove, because I guess that the problem in the washing machine was that it was too long in there and that it could move around. So that means I have to find a new man who I can date. That is probably the biggest challenge, where to get a new man to date. I mean, we have to do this whole thing again, but I will probably not go into the same park again, because, you know, the chance of getting rose marijuana there is relatively big, isn't it? So I will dry this, and I hope you had a little bit of fun with this video. Trust me, we will make something out of this. See you the next time. Bye bye.